It's taken me a while to close up my 2025 planners and figure out what I'm going to do for 2026. Turns out this year is going to look pretty similar to last year as far as my planning system goes. Hi, I'm Carrie from InvisArt Planners, and I talk about all things digital planning on this channel. Today I want to share with you my 2026 planner lineup. My planner stack doesn't really look like other videos that talk about their planner lineup because most of my planning happens digitally. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with my planners this year because we had a really busy holiday season and I thought I was going to change some things up with my planning system. But last year's system worked for me, so it doesn't really make sense to switch it up. I'll make some tweaks here and there, but for the most part, things will remain the same. The thing that needs to change is how consistently I use the system. I think like a lot of people, I start off really strong at the start of a year, and as a few months go on, one part of the planning system falls off, and then another part of the planning system falls off. And by the end of the year, I'm not really doing that much planning at all. I also really want to add a journal into my planner lineup, but I haven't been able to make that a consistent habit either. So if you have any tips for that, let me know in the comments below. Instead of showing you what I used last year, and then what I'm going to use this year, I think I'll just show you a side-by-side of my planner system, how I used it last year, and what I'm doing this year, because a lot of it is the same with just a couple of tweaks and changes here and there. So let's start out with my weekly planner. I'm using our modular digital planner to plan each week, and I've been using this one for the last couple of years now. I started out last year using our dashboard layout, and the reason for that is that if you look, this is the base dashboard layout. But what I was able to do is, through the use of our widget system and our modular system, get rid of the notes section and really customize each page to be what I wanted it to be. But then about halfway through the year, I got the itch to start a new planner like I normally do. And so I decided to try out our grid layout. Our grid layout has a widget for each day of the week versus all of the days on the side. And I really like that because I was able to have extra space for to-do lists. And when I didn't need that space for to-do lists, I was able to do a little bit of memory keeping. But this year, I'm going to go back to the dashboard layout because I like the flexibility a little bit more with this layout. When I add a new widget in, I don't lose a day of the week. Versus this layout, if I want to add a widget, I would actually probably lose a day of the week. So if you notice here, Sunday is actually missing because I have a widget over it. So each week, what I'll do is go in and add the priorities for each day. And each day starts as gray text. And as the day passes and I actually get to do what I wanted to do, the text will turn into the color of the week. And then I'll cross it off if I was able to fully complete what I wanted to do. I also have space for priority, habits. This week is a meal planner, side quests, and a to-do list. Although this meal planner is sometimes a mood tracker and a reminder or a quote. And so I really like the flexibility of that. But what I also love about this planner is that it serves as sort of a memory keeper. This monthly favorites page is probably the only page I've consistently used over the last couple of years. And I've really enjoyed looking back through it. So that's definitely something that I'm going to keep doing this year. So I'm also thinking that for this planner, I might make a second copy and use it just to keep track of things for our dogs. Vet appointments and trips to the park and when they go for walks. So I'll probably take this dashboard weekly layout, add in, events here, and then use this space for memory keeping because we actually have some widgets that are meant just for pets. Some are for grooming notes and vet appointments, but we also have some memory keepers and photo frames. So I could add in a photo using this widget, add the date, and tell the story. And because they fit straight into these slots, it'll be quick and easy to do. So the barrier to actually doing it is pretty low. But I'll probably set this up in a different video. And that'll be my weekly planner for the year. So another digital planner that I am probably going to use this year is I'm going to use our minimal weekly wide planner as a fitness journal. So this is the layout, and what I'll do is I'll add the exercise in this left column and kind of notes on this right side, and keep track of what I did when on this overall calendar, which is what I did last year before I stopped keeping track in about March or so. I've been trying to do this for 2 years, and I always fall off around March. So fingers crossed that this year is the year that I stick to it throughout the whole year. But last year I would add, what I did, like pickleball or tennis or upper body lift session. And I added a couple of little summaries, how I started the month, how it felt, and what I want to do next month. And this is kind of how the fitness weekly would look. The exercise, like I said, the exercise on the left and some journaling notes on the right. I find that keeping track of the different exercises I do motivating, because I really like seeing it all put together like this and like this. And it's nice to scroll back through and realize that, yeah, you did the thing. So hopefully it's motivation that I can keep up with this year. We also have some fitness widgets in our shop to help keep track of what I did specifically, and like macros, or like if I have a lift session, what exercises I did at what weight and things like that. So I'll probably use some of those this year too. So these are the two physical planners, or notebooks really, that are a part of my lineup. This is a bullet journal that I use just to keep track of daily tasks. Honestly though, I've had this notebook for a couple of years, and I always get stressed out at keeping it neat and perfect. So I've actually only gone through a few of these pages. So this is the year that I'm just gonna forget about all of that and use it to keep track of my daily tasks. It doesn't matter how messy it gets. But that's why this composition book is so important. It's probably the most important planner on this list. It houses brain dumps and project ideas, and I don't mind making it too messy. I can scribble here and cross out there and draw different arrows. Like this is actually the layout for this video here, and another one that you'll see on my channel soon. And this notebook is open on my desk all day, every day, and I've been using a variation of this for years. The only problem with it is it's kind of hard to find notes sometimes in them. So this year I started adding little tabs so I can figure out what's where. And the last part of my planning ecosystem is Notion, though it's arguably the largest part of the system, since it's where I do all of my project and content planning. It's especially important for keeping track of random ideas that I have for that, and I use this space to write out my captions and scripts. I've been putting everything here together for like the last couple of years, and I'm pretty happy with where it's at, even though it's still a work in progress. It really helps me keep track of the what and the when and the where of content and projects, and even a lot of my personal stuff. The personal stuff that I keep track of are things like garden tasks and projects, and what seedlings I should start when, and what I need to be doing for my vermicompost at any given time. But my most used section is probably my meal planner / recipe keeper / sourdough note hub. It's probably the only fully set up section outside of the content planning area. For my sourdough, I have a database for that, and I add a new entry for each loaf I make, so I can see what worked and what didn't from loaf to loaf. It's been a game changer because I didn't know anything about sourdough when I started, and I didn't realize how many different things can impact the rise and quality of the bread. Without having everything written out here, I'd probably still be making loaves that are closer in texture to rocks than bread. There's also an area where I write out what I ate or what I plan to eat for the week, actually for the next 2 weeks, and I tie that to any recipes that are added to my database so I can easily pull them up while cooking. Plus, any recipes that are from a book get added to that recipe keeper, but they also get tied to my book hub so that they're easy to find together and in one place. My reading tracker is also almost done. I just need to add a couple of tracking widgets and a challenge database that I want to build out. And it's been really helpful for keeping track of books that I've read and how I felt about them and what books I want to read next. And the final sections are for crochet projects and video game tracking, but they're really incomplete right now. I mostly use my video game area to keep track of where I left off in Stardew Valley, but I do hope to eventually build out databases for them for proper tracking. If you want to see a full walkthrough of how I use Notion, let me know in the comments. And that's it for my planning ecosystem this year. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found a tip or two to help you build your planning system. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos like this. If you want to watch more, YouTube thinks you'll like this video on the left, and if you like Plan With Me videos, check out this playlist on the right. Until next time, bye!